Does he really think that Jeff Gordon, in his prime, would beat SVG today in a next-gen car? Not a chance. Not a remote chance.
Denny Hamlin just lit up the NASCAR world with one of his boldest takes yet. In a sport where respect is earned by performance, not past glory, his words hit hard. Denny Hamlin stirred a storm this week after questioning who truly deserves the title of NASCAR's greatest road course racer, the iconic Jeff Gordon or the unstoppable Shane van Gisbergen. The debate spread fast through fans and drivers alike, with many wondering if the new era has already overtaken the old. For Hamlin, it wasn't just about opinion. It was about calling out a shift in power that's changing the sport before our eyes. The catalyst for Hamlin's fiery rant came from NASCAR insider Jordan Bianchi, who dared to suggest that SVG, after just a handful of road course appearances, should be considered among the greatest in the sport's history. To say Hamlin disagreed would be an understatement. On his podcast, he held nothing back, ripping the comparison to shreds with one brutal line after another.
Jordan Bianchi is absolutely out of his mind thinking that, like, well, yeah, he's on the short list for the best NASCAR road racer ever. Like, what is he talking about? Does he really think that Jeff Gordon, in his prime, would beat SVG today in a next-gen car? Not a chance.
And just like that, Hamlin drew a line in the sand. His stance was clear. Shane van Gisbergen isn't just good, he's operating on another level entirely. To understand the magnitude of Hamlin's take, it's important to understand the context. Jeff Gordon, a four-time Cup Series champion, revolutionized NASCAR in the 90s and early 2000s. With 9 road course wins and a legendary partnership with crew chief Ray Evernham, Gordon set the gold standard for performance on twisty tracks. But Hamlin believes the equipment gap between then and now makes comparisons unfair.
Jeff Gordon was not winning by this margin. Jeff Gordon was not racing cars this equal to everyone else's. Jeff Gordon was in a Hendrick Motorsports car that was Ray Evernhammed up. Like, that is not even a remote comparison.
What Hamlin is alluding to is the parity in the current NASCAR Cup Series. With the introduction of the next-gen car, the field has never been closer. The performance gap between teams has narrowed, making it harder than ever for one driver to dominate. Unless, of course, you're Shane van Gisbergen. Since making his debut in NASCAR's Cup Series, SVG has redefined what it means to be dominant on road courses. With a background in Australian supercars, where road and street circuits are the norm, he's brought a level of precision, aggression, and tire management that has left even the best Cup veterans scrambling to keep up. In just 6 road course starts, SVG has won 5 times, including blowouts where he left second place more than 15 seconds behind. Hamlin, a veteran with 50-plus Cup wins of his own, admitted that trying to beat van Gisbergen at this point just doesn't feel realistic.
It's not like the guy's got a couple tenths on the field. It's a measurable amount, and it's a measurable amount because his teammates have the same thing. You know what I mean? And the results are wildly different.
That's a key point. Van Gisbergen isn't just benefiting from elite equipment. He's outperforming his own teammates in identical machinery. That includes Trackhouse Racing stablemates who've been in the series longer and know the nuances of NASCAR's schedule. Still, SVG is the one racking up trophies and breaking records. His latest performance at the Charlotte Roval, his 5th straight road course win, was another masterclass in composure and control. Leading 58 laps and winning by over 15 seconds, he made a strong field that included road course ringers like Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell look average. It was so dominant that even Larson, one of NASCAR's most naturally gifted drivers, admitted he had no answers. He was just way faster than we were, Larson said. I just wanted to make a race out of it because I felt like he was out there just toying with us all day. When Kyle Larson says you were toying with the field, that's no ordinary compliment. And for Hamlin, it's evidence that we're witnessing something special.
Trying to beat SVG at this point, I just don't think is realistic.
Hamlin repeated. But the implications of Hamlin's rant stretch beyond one driver's brilliance. They strike at the heart of how NASCAR defines greatness. For decades, NASCAR has measured drivers by wins, championships, and consistency. Jeff Gordon was the embodiment of that model: polished, relentless, and a winner on any surface. But SVG's success challenges the idea that greatness must be built over years. In today's NASCAR, where cars are equal and competition is tighter than ever, raw talent and adaptability can fast-track a driver into the history books. And that's exactly what SVG is doing. So when Bianchi floated the idea that SVG belonged in the same breath as Gordon, it wasn't just provocative, it was disruptive. It forced the sport to reckon with how much it's changed, and whether the metrics used to define greatness 2 decades ago still apply. Hamlin clearly doesn't think they do. In fact, he suggests that if Gordon were racing today, in the same equipment, under the same rules, against the same field, he wouldn't be able to keep up. Of course, that's speculation, but it's also a bold endorsement of SVG's talent. And it's not just Hamlin taking notice. Bubba Wallace's spotter, Freddie Kraft, recently praised SVG for schooling the field again. Lee Diffie echoed the sentiment, calling Van Gisbergen's presence a benchmark shift for the entire garage. Even Trackhouse owner Justin Marks weighed in, crediting the team's best-ever season to SVG's influence. "Shane is a world-class racer," he said, "but it's not just Shane. It takes everybody." That may be true, but right now, SVG is the one turning heads and sparking debates that cut to the core of NASCAR's evolving identity. If Hamlin's words weren't enough, consider this. SVG is now 1 win shy of tying Jeff Gordon's all-time record of 6 straight road course victories, a mark Gordon set between 1997 and 2000. And Van Gisbergen's victories haven't just been close, they've been blowouts. He's the first driver since Bobby Allison in 1982 to record multiple 1.5-second-plus wins in a single season. That's domination. Which brings us back to the heart of Hamlin's rant. To him, the numbers don't lie. And when you strip away nostalgia, legacy, and marketing, all that's left is performance. Right now, Shane van Gisbergen's performance on road courses is unlike anything we've seen in decades. Maybe ever. Whether you're a diehard Gordon fan or a believer in the new era, it's impossible to ignore the reality Hamlin laid bare. SVG isn't just great, he's changing the game, and that has some people rattled. In a sport built on tradition, someone always comes along to break the mold. Jeff Gordon did it in the 90 seconds. Jimmy Johnson did it in the 2000s. Now, in a radically different NASCAR landscape, Shane van Gisbergen might be that guy. And Denny Hamlin, a driver who's battled legends and rising stars alike, just put his stamp on it. The message is loud and clear. The torch may have already been passed, whether NASCAR is ready for it or not.